What's going on YouTube? It is your girl Lauren Finesse, and we are back with another video because we got some things that we gotta talk about. First things first, y'all. I don't know why, but I feel so bloated today. Like I've been drinking a lot of water, but it's like I feel like I'm not drinking more water than I usually drink. So I'm not sure what is making me feel just like heavy and bloated, but I'm wearing an oversized hoodie, which is my favorite thing to do. One thing about me, I love an oversized hoodie. That is just the most comfortable thing for me, especially just like chilling in the house, or if I were to like run to the grocery store, working out at the gym. Like I just love an oversized hoodie, right? I don't know about y'all, but I love a good oversized hoodie. In any event, that's not why we're here. Let's talk about why we're here, guys. You've seen the title, so you already know what it is. But have y'all watched The Strays on Netflix? It's some shit with the Strays. Okay, so let me just start here. So I recall seeing that the movie was coming up, and I just, Netflix has been trashed for a while. They don't want to share passwords anymore, and they're making all these changes. Plus, the price then went up. I think I'm paying like $16.99 right now for Netflix, and there's so many international movies and shows on Netflix that is like, not that I don't want to watch them, because I love the British shows. The British shows are actually like really, really good. And this is actually like a British movie, if you will. So the British shows and movies have been giving. So I'm not even saying that, but it's just, there's so many foreign movies that I'm just not interested in that are running all over Netflix. Like for me, I've been getting a little bit more into Hulu, because Hulu has the types of movies that I would expect Netflix to have, if that makes sense. Like if you have access to both Netflix and Hulu, then you should see what I'm talking about. Like go to your Netflix. Every movie is like, has subtitles. Guys, my eyes be bothering me. I don't want to read subtitles. Like I just want to watch a movie. You know what I mean? And so anyway, a little quick rant. Netflix, y'all ain't sharing passwords. Y'all trying to crack down. Y'all raising the price, and y'all coming with trash ass movies. And then every once in a while, they throw one of these movies, series, shows that keep us paying that $16.99 a month. So I'm talking shit, but I'm still paying the $16.99 a month because it's become one of those subscriptions that I've had for years that it's just like, it just is a part of, your monthly bills. In any event, The Strays. So anyway, I wasn't gonna watch it. I mean, I was gonna watch it, but like whenever I got around to it, because it was nothing, I didn't know what it was about. I didn't look at the description. I just knew that it was supposed to be like this eerie, scary movie. I didn't watch the trailer. So it was just something that when I got around to it, I was gonna give it a watch, a view. But then I was on Twitter, and on Twitter, someone compared it to Get Out. And I was like, wait a minute, is that what the premise of the movie is? It's supposed to be like, racial undertones, and is that what the movie is about? So I had no clue. So I'm like, okay, it's out, let me go watch it. So I went into, oh wait, and by the way, there will be spoilers. I'm debating telling the end, because I think the end is so wild that it's worth watching yourself. So I think I may tell everything, except for the ending. Honestly, the ending is just, it's worth watching it on your own. So if you have not watched The Strays on Netflix, click off of this because there will be spoilers. Go watch it and then come back to this video and let me know what you guys think. And then, okay, yes, and also before I get into the movie, please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. It is free 99. I have been like stepping up my content, so let's keep it going. Like I've been getting like a nice steady amount. Like it's been growing. The channel has been growing. So I'm actually very proud of that. And we'll continue to do have more conversations and do more things on the channel. Like I just have to fully commit to it all the way. And so I think subscribing will give me the push that we need, right? Okay. The Strays. So I saw that it was going to be, someone compared it to Get Out. And we know how iconic Get Out was. And I say iconic because that movie in like pop culture really made an impact. You know, that's an iconic movie. The way it was written, directed, the undertones, the racial undertones in Get Out, and the sort of what is it called? I was about to say the oxymorons, not the oxymorons, but the just like the subtle things that we picked up on in the movie. It just kind of like made it, you know, it made it popular and iconic. So when I saw that comparison, I was like, okay, well, let me go check out The Strays. So The Strays starts with this woman, this black woman, this light-skinned black woman. I also saw people like talking, you know, having feelings about the Netflix description of the movie because it says a light-skinned black woman. But in my opinion, her skin tone played a huge factor in the film. So while because people just love to be angry. Let's just call it what it is. People love to be angry and they love to complain. I did not see a problem with saying light-skinned black woman versus just saying black woman, because her skin tone was just like another level to the movie. So it made sense that they called it out that way. So anyway, you got this light-skinned black woman and she's in this apartment, and there's bills everywhere. There's trash everywhere. Very chaotic. She's crying. She's smoking a cigarette. She has a lot of like pro-black magazines and artwork and trinkets and different things in her home that you would assume she's very much pro-black, right? Light-skinned woman, but very much pro-black. She's still a black woman. And she's crying and she's on the phone with, you know, I don't know, her mom, some woman. And she's crying and she's complaining and she's like, I can't believe that this is my life. I want more. I'm not happy. And, you know, as the camera spans around the apartment, you can see like she was like an employee of the year or associate of the month or something like that. She had some awards. And so basically she was just feeling like her life was in a dead end. And she wanted more. She wanted out. She's just unhappy and fed up with life. So she gets up and she leaves. She walks out the door, and then as she's leaving out, the phone rings. So she hangs up with the woman, who I believe was like her mom or something. She hangs up with the woman, and then the phone is ringing. And instead of answering it, she leaves. And when she leaves, there's a man that comes on the answering machine, and he's like, Cheryl, her name is Cheryl. He's like, Cheryl, pick up. And she leaves. So now it picks up and it speeds up and it says years later. We don't know how many years later, but it just says several years later. And we see Cheryl, but now they are calling her Neve. So it's like, okay, she clearly moved away and, you know, changed her name. Now she's living in a new life. She has a new life. And so now Neve, she's sitting at her vanity and she is, putting on her wig and her makeup. And she wearing them wigs that we ain't looking for the lace. We know it's a wig. She wearing a wig that looked like a wig. Now, the quality of the wig didn't look terrible. It looked like it was human hair. But, you know, the parting wasn't plucked. It wasn't laid. It wasn't bow hole, got to be glued. It wasn't like down. It was just like a wig she was putting on. And so she's in the vanity putting on her makeup and doing her skincare, and she's like hyping herself up to talk to people. She's like, hi, how are you? Good morning. Like she's practicing her etiquette, if you will, and what she's going to say when she sees people. So she goes out and she sees her neighbor, and she speaks to the neighbor, and she's, you know, that same prep talk that she was giving herself in the mirror. She says this to the neighbor, and she's just like, you know, good morning, how are you? Are you going to, she's putting on some type of event, some type of fundraiser where she's supposed to give back to less fortunate children. And so she is looking for a donation. So she asked the neighbor, and she asked for like this amount of money, and the neighbor kind of like, you could tell it was maybe too much, but you could tell that wherever they are in this town, they have to keep up with the Joneses. And so while the amount catches the neighbor off guard, she's like, oh, well, if it's too much, she's like, no, we'll do it. So you can already see that Cheryl, now Neve, is a different person. She's very uppity, and she's living in the suburbs with her Range Rover, her big house, and her family. She has a husband and 2 kids, a boy and a girl. Her husband is white, by the way. So anyway, you know, she's like a headmaster at the private school that her children attend, high school, because she has high school age children. And her husband sells like health insurance or something. He has his own business. So anyway, she's on her way to just like, you know, through her day. And as she's driving, at one point, she like sees someone in the mirror. Like she had picked up oh, that's what she did. She went to her daughter's, okay, let me take a step back, y'all. Because it was a lot to pick up on. And I don't want to get too deep, but I do want to make sure I call out the things that kind of you catch. And that's why it is similar to Get Out, because there are nuances that are happening that you catch, and it gives you like, wait, okay, what's happening here? So, because again, I went into the movie completely blind, not knowing the premise or anything. I'm just like, okay, it's supposed to be a good movie. So she goes to her daughter's job. Her daughter works at like a bakery or something. And her daughter, when she gets to the bakery, her daughter has like a ponytail with a swoop and baby hairs. Now, mind you, the daughter clearly mixed, but she's a little bit more on the fairer skin side with the blonde hair. And so she got the swoop and the baby hairs, like, and so the mom, when she comes in, she's like, what's going on with your hair? And she's like, what? It's just a style. And at first I was like, what is she picking up on? And then when the daughter turns her head, you can see the baby hair. I said, okay, so she's clearly, there's some self-hatred going on with Neve, aka Crystal, Cheryl. So when she like reacts to her daughter's baby hair, it's very subtle. It's very, very subtle, but it's like, okay, what's about to happen? Now, like when that happened, I was like, okay, now let me pay attention to this movie, because I didn't know where it was going, but her having that reaction to baby hair, and y'all know I'm a baby hair professional, I was like, oh, okay. So she takes the daughter, they're on their way home, and while they're going home, she sees like a black man walking behind her car. And she doesn't know who the black man is. And so she's like, you know, kind of frightened. And she accidentally hits, you know, one of her neighbor's cars, right? Because she's not paying attention. And so then the guy is gone. And the daughter's like, Mom, you know, like, what are you doing? So anyway, so she goes home, and, you know, the family's having dinner. And she told the daughter, oh, I bought you some expensive shampoo, because she wanted the daughter to wash the swoop and the baby hairs out. So the daughter's at the table on her phone, hair wrapped up, because she just got out of like the tub. The son comes in, and he's like, here's another one. The son comes in, and he says, Mom, what happened to my Lil Wayne poster that was in the gym? They had like a gym in their home. And she was like, what? I don't know what poster you're talking about, da da da. And so again, that was another thing that like, it's very subtle. Again, he's talking about his Lil Wayne poster that she clearly threw away. And she's like, oh, I don't know what poster, da da da. And so you can tell that the dad understands that he is married to a black woman, and they have biracial kids. He understands that. And so the father is more of a, you know, I don't care that our children are biracial. Like, these are my children. I love them. They need to be who they're going to be. And she is definitely self-hating, self-deprecating, and like, she doesn't want her family associated with anything black, even though she's a black woman. So anyway, so they're having the dinner or whatever, and he mentions that, you know, a black girl came into town looking for a job. She's very sweet. Her name is Abigail. And even that throws her back. And she's like, a black girl, you know. And he's like, yeah. And then the kids are like, we're black. And the dad's like, yeah, I know. Like, you know, so it's, again, it's the subtle, nuanced conversations and things that are happening that are building the storyline. That's why it's important. These things are helping to build the storyline. So anyway, so later on that night, you know, she has to take her wig off, right? She has all of her wigs, and the husband is like, listen, she doesn't want to show her hair. Her hair is, you know, coarse, and it's black women's hair. Shout out to Jessie Woo. Black Women's, Harriet Tubman Women's Month. Jessie Woo is hilarious. But anyway, so she doesn't want to show her hair. She's wearing like a bonnet thing that's like protecting her hair, like a scarf. And the husband's like, you know, I miss you wearing your hair. And she's like, no, you know, it's just maintenance. Don't worry about it. And that's that. Another nuanced thing that happens, they're having sex that night. She's riding him. She's on top of him. And he goes to like touch her hair. No, she has the wig on. He goes to touch her hair, and she like grabs his hand, like pushes it away, like, don't touch my hair, right? She doesn't say it, but it's like, don't touch my hair. So that's when she takes the wig off and she puts the like scarf on, and the husband is like, listen, whatever. You know, I miss that hair. I don't mind it. And she's like, no. So anyway, the next day she's taking the kids to school, and she notices two stick figures on her rear view mirror, or her side view mirror, black, like two black stick figures. And she's like, you know, asked the son Sebastian, like, did you do that? And he was like, no, what are you talking about? So she's getting more and more freaked out because like black people are showing up. It's a lot of talk about black people. She had now she got her different wig on. Okay, she put a different wig on, like her shorter cut wig. And her head is itching up under this fucking wig. She's like sticking her finger under the wig, scratching, trying to get into the wig. And so anyway, so they get to the school, and her kids go to class, and she's like I said, she's like the headmaster or whatever. So she's walking through the hall, and she sees her son talking to the black janitor. And she doesn't know the janitor. She looks at him, it's a black guy, and she's like calling her son. She's like, why are you need to get to class while you're talking to strangers. And he was like, strangers? And he walks off, and the janitor is gone. So you think that these sightings of black people that she keeps seeing, you think that it's not real, because every time she looks twice, they're gone. So we don't know what's going on with it, right? It's like a psychological thriller. Are they real? Is it her imagination? Is it her fear of herself, right? Like it's like a metaphor blended in. Like, is she just scared of black people because she's running from herself? Like there's a lot of like messages and stuff going on here. So she goes into like the choir, because the choir is prepping for her fundraiser. They're going to sing the song or whatever. And she looks out the window of the school, and she sees her son go into the woods. And so she follows him, and he's like smoking a cigarette. And she was like, I know you got it from him, talking about the black janitor. And he's like, no, mom, like I bought these. And she was like, you're gonna get in trouble. Like, I'm the headmaster, but like, don't forget that I'm also your mother. So she goes home, and she gets home, and they have like company over, and they're white friends, and they're having conversations about, I forgot what the conversation was about, but it was related to race. They were having like a racial conversation, and she looks out the window, and there's the black man again. He's standing outside her window. So she is like freaking out, like, oh my God, they're coming to get us. They're coming to get us. And they look out the window, they don't see anybody. So they're like, okay, well, we're finna go. Cause like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it's getting weird. The daughter comes in. The daughter has fucking cornrow braids, guys. Like this long blonde hair and cornrow braids. And she was like, who did this to your hair? She's like, oh, Emily, because she told her she was going to her friend's Emily's house. She asks about the brother. The brother, oh, he had a basketball game. He's gone. So she's like, okay. So they're waiting up all night for the brother to come home. He's late. They called the coach or something, and the coach was like, oh, you know, he didn't go with us after the game. We don't know where he went. So they were really concerned about the son, like, where is he? He's not answering his phone. So finally the son comes in, and they're just like freaking out at him, and the dad is more understanding. The dad is like, oh, maybe we need to give him some more room to be a better person, to grow, whatever. And she's like, no. And she takes off her shoe and she starts like beating the son with her shoe. Again, that was a little nuance. If you think about, like, I ain't never got beat with a shoe, but I done heard about some black people who grandmas and big mas and had they house slipper and they got hit with a shoe or threw a shoe. So I thought that was another little nuance. Like, okay, girl, your black side is showing. Your slip is showing, ma'am. You're a black woman. So anyway, the son goes up the stairs, you know, they're pissed or whatever. And she has, you know, she wakes up in like the middle of the night or something, and she's like freaking out. She's having this hallucination. And what happens is, and this is where the story then starts to connect of almost what's happening. So while she's freaking out in the middle of the night, she goes to her kitchen to get a glass of water. Her kitchen starts to, because they have a very nice modern home. The kitchen starts to transform into her old kitchen at that apartment. Had this like terrible yellow wallpaper, and like her hair, her real hair starts to like come out of the wig, and like it's nappy, and you know. And so it's like, okay, so it was at that point that I said, okay, for sure, Cheryl, I think her last name was like Brown, Cheryl Brown, and look, the last name is Brown. I think that was what it was. So Cheryl Brown is indeed Neve, which is her new name. So once I saw the kitchen, I said, okay, now it's making sense that indeed was her at the beginning. Because at first I was like, is that the same woman? Because she looked, I don't want to say completely different, but she looked noticeably different. Like it was not the same person, even though it's the same person. So I said, okay, I see now what is happening. So fast forward. So now it's the day of her fundraising event, and she's at the event, all white people. There are no black people there. And the choir goes up to sing. She makes a speech, and she's just like in her glow. And she turns around in the crowd, and she looks over to like, you know, the dessert table area, and she sees the black girl who, Abigail, who got the job at the insurance place, and the black guy who was the janitor at the school. They're at the party and they're dressed up. The black girl has like a tiara on and like this yellow dress. And so she runs over there and flips out. What are you guys doing here? What type of game are you playing? Who are you? Why are you here? We don't want you here. You guys are like trying to hurt us. And why are you doing this? Like screaming and flipping out. And while she's doing all the screaming and flipping out, the black girl says, "Mom." And everybody's like, huh? Wait, what? What the fuck? So it was at that point that I literally paused it and was like, okay, my head is spinning. I need to like take a deep breath. What did I just watch? I'm like, wait, those are her children? So you mean to tell me when she left that fucking apartment that she had kids and she'd been seeing them around town? She doesn't even know what her children look like. So how long has it been? She done had 2 more kids. Like, mind fucked. My mind fucking exploded at that point when she called her mom. But it was clear that that really was her mom. So the janitor guy and the girl Abby, which her real name was like Dion, who got the job at the insurance place, are actually her fucking kids, you guys. So the movie stops there, and then it jumps back like a week or two to when the brother and sister get into town. So apparently they had a whole plan. They knew that this was their mom. Apparently she had left when they were very young and left them with their father, and then the father gave them to like her mother, and then her mother put them out. So they had been bounced around into a number of foster homes and stuff, and they were fucked up about it. I would be too. And they find out that their mom has moved away and started a whole new family with this white man, and she done had 2 kids, like another boy and another girl. I was like, this is some wild and crazy shit. Like, this is like, just really think about this, like anybody. And they get into it later where she was like, men do it all the time. But just think about how wild you have to be to leave your family cold turkey and then start a family with someone else somewhere else. Like, that is with no contact with your old family in life. Like, no, that's done. They're done. And this is my new life, and this is my new family. That's crazy. Even the guy, I don't know if you guys watch Vanderpump Rules, but even Brock from Vanderpump Rules last season was getting a lot of flack because he left Australia with his 2 kids and his ex-wife, and he came to America, and now he done had a baby with Sheena, and Lala was mad, and it was the thing. I watch Vanderpump Rules. If y'all don't watch Vanderpump Rules, they on like season 10. They have not had the best track record, and I remember at one point like Stassi and Kristen had like said some racist shit, and so they got fired from the show, and it's just been a mess, but it's a good show. Back to the Strays though, y'all. So it goes back, we see that they purposefully came into town. They wanted to confront the mom. The sister, was the black sister, Dion, was meeting with the sister, the new sister, I can't think of her name, but when she had the cornrows, the black sister did it, and they like met up in their hotel room, and you know, she started to freak out on her because she realized like, this girl is my mom's new daughter, and she just left me. Like, the daughter was really fucked up about it. The son was too, but you could tell he was, you know, he's the older of the 2, and he was more like, I'm just here so you can get it out your system, but we don't need her, fuck her. But the sister is like, you know, longing for a mom. Sorry, it's getting a message. So, so anyway, what does it say? Okay. So anyway, that's who had braided her hair. She'd been hanging out with the daughter. The son been hanging out with the janitor. My whole thing was, this woman looked this janitor, because I don't think she ever seen the daughter, but she saw the guy several times. She saw him and didn't even know that was her son. And they even say it later on, like, how did you not recognize them? But that, like, she had left them when they were young, and so she didn't even know what they looked like as adults. Like, that's crazy to me. So now they replayed the same week, and all of the little things that have been happening, they were behind it. He was behind her car. Okay, she's seen him. When she saw the son go into the woods, he did go into the woods with the janitor. When the son was late from the basketball game, he was with the janitor, and they like killed one of the other boys on the basketball team, which they didn't even touch on that. Like, I think they killed him. Like, there was somebody on the basketball team that was harassing the son, and he was hanging out with the janitor, aka his brother, and they put a bag over his head, and he took the basketball and he hit him in the face with it. They never touched on that, but I think they killed him together. And basically the black brother and sister were infiltrating their lives, and they were infiltrating their lives through the fairer-skinned black brother and sister. And so now it had come to a head. They planned to come to the fundraiser. So now they leave. The brother and sister leave. They're pissed. The girl starts, it speeds back up into real time when she says mom at her little fundraiser event, and she's screaming and fighting. So the brother like pulls her out, and now she has to explain to her family, her new family, who are these people? And so she goes to explain, like, their father wanted to keep them, and I left, and fathers do it all the time. Why can't I do it? And they're like, how could you have a whole other family and not tell us? The dad is like, this is crazy that you have kids and you didn't say anything. And she's like, would you have wanted to take care of me and my 2 black kids? You wouldn't have even married me. And he was like, I don't know if I would have. Probably not. Maybe, you know what I mean? She's like, no, you wouldn't. So she's doing a little bit of guilt tripping to her new family as to why she didn't tell them that she had 2 kids. That is just, I'm sorry, that's just wild to think about, that you could have 2 kids and fuck them and you just like start a new family. So anyway, so I'm like, where's the story going? Because where do we go from here? So she, you know, has this speech for her family, like, we're a family, we need to stick together and we will work through this together. And the thing is, the kids like the new brother and sister because they've been hanging with them, right? They've been hanging with them all week and getting to know them. And now they're their siblings. It's like, hey, you know, you could tell that the new children, the fair skinned, whiter children, that they were longing to have some type of connection to their black side by, you know, the girl was looking on TikToks and doing hairstyles and baby hairs and cornrows. The son is, you know, playing basketball and wanted to be accepted, and he's getting teased at school for being biracial. So his Lil Wayne poster. So they were longing to have a connection to their black side, and the mom was completely cutting it off. So they were fine with having siblings. And so she goes to meet with the blacker brother sister, and she's like, oh my God, you guys have grown, you're so big. And they're like at a diner, and I feel like everybody was just numb. They're just like very numb to what was going on. And so she gives them a check for 20,000 pounds. And she's like, you know, 10 for you and 10 for you. And we can work out, you know, more arrangements and getting you guys money when you get back to London, right? And so basically she was telling them to take the money and get the F out of there, basically. And they picked up on it. They took the check, but they picked up on it like, oh, so you just gonna pay us to get us out of your hair, to get us out of your life? Like, that's basically what this is. But she says, no, you know, this is just like for you guys to start your life and we'll figure it out together. But they picked up on it that she was really trying to just get rid of them. Take this money and go. So she goes back home and she lies to her family and she tells them that, oh, they wanted to leave and, you know, we'll figure it out, but we need to get our family back on track and we need to, you know, start over. And the family was willing to do that. Now, this is when the movie then again makes a very weird fucking turn. So she thinks that they're going back to London. We think, I don't even know what I was thinking. I was just like, is this the end of the movie? Because the movie's only an hour and a half. So I'm like, is this the end of the movie? Because like, it's about time to wrap it up. They go to sleep and the brother and sister break into their house and they are like living in the house. Because the sister, she's like, we want to live with you. Like, you're our mom, we want to live with you. And she's like, oh no, you know, that's not, you know, we'll work it out, we'll see. So they break into the house. They like zip tie the doors so that like they can't get out or something like that. They turn on the water. They go in their rooms and steal all of their phones. And then they put their phones in the running water. They turn the sink on. The brother puts on a robe. He's watching TV in the living room downstairs. The sister goes upstairs. She's running a bubble bath. I mean, they are not being quiet. They're like, they live there. They're just like regularly going about their evening. And so finally, after all of this like movement, now mind you, I will say this. It is realistic that if you live in a house with 3 other people and you hear moving around in your house late at night, you would assume it's probably someone that lives there, especially if they're like, you hear the TV is on or someone's running water. Like, you know, someone who's coming to rob you is probably not going to be laughing at TV and taking a bath. So they didn't immediately react to the noises in the house. And I was like, okay, I get it. But they weren't being quiet at all. They were like really in the house. So I'm like, oh, they crazy. But like, are they crazy? Are they crazy? Because quite honestly, this woman abandoned them and started a new family, and that would fuck me up too. Like, I couldn't imagine one of my parents leaving my life and then I find out that they've started a new family. So are they crazy? Have they reached a breaking, snapping point? Yes. But with good reason? Also, yes. So they're in the house, and so the son wakes up first and he like goes into the hallway, and the sister walks past him like, hey Bash, his name's Sebastian. Hey Bash, something, I'm gonna take a bath, whatever. Where are the towels? And so he's just standing there like, what? So now the mom gets up and she's like, Sebastian, why are you taking a bath this late? And he was like, I'm not. That's Abigail. That's, the daughter. He's like, they're downstairs. And she was like, what? So when she gets downstairs, she's stunned. The son comes downstairs, and now shit gets crazy because now they're like, okay, it's time to turn the crazy up. First of all, the water that they put their phones in the sink, the water's overflowing in the kitchen. So there's water everywhere in the kitchen dining room area because the sink is just flowing. And the sister is like, it's my birthday. Let's play a game. I want to play a game. Let's play it. And it's like, I don't know, it's like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. It's like, wait, what? So now the dad comes downstairs. Now the daughter comes downstairs. So now the whole family's downstairs, and they realize like, oh, they're crazy. They just broke into our house and they're crazy. And so the mom is like, can you turn the water off? He's like, no. The brother, he's like, no, let it run. Let it run. And so it's like, okay, yep, they're crazy. And they want to play a game because it's the girl, Dion, it's her birthday. And so he's like, the guy, he has like the older brother, he has like a machete that he takes out his bag. And he's like, let's order some food and let's play a game. It's Dion's birthday. We're finna play a game. And so they're like all scared, and they start to order food. And of course the restaurant is like closed. So they're like, oh, well, let's Uber Eats. Uber Eats should still be open. Let's see what's going on with Uber Eats. So they order Uber Eats. What do you want? They're making them say what food they want. And so then the daughter's like, I want to play Scrabble. We're going to play Scrabble. So they literally go get the Scrabble board and they sit down to play Scrabble. And they're playing and they're making words, and the water's still running. It's just weird as shit. And so the brother, he just snaps. He pushes the game off the table. And he was like, he starts talking to the husband like, oh, so you lift weights? You think you could lift more than me? Like, let's go to the gym. And he forces him, like not forces him, but he has this big ass machete. And at first he was like, no, I'm not going to. Something he said to him, and he punched him he headbutted him. So he like busted his shit. So it's like, oh yeah, they're crazy and they are willing to get violent. So he takes the husband, the older brother, the older blacker brother takes the husband, the white husband, into the gym, and he's basically in there like forcing him to bench press like all these heavy ass weights or whatever. So she's now it's just the mom, the son, the daughter, and the two daughters. The mom, the son, and the two daughters. And so, she's talking, and she was like, we can make things right. We can, fix things. And she goes in, she turns the water off finally, because like the water was pissing me off, because it was just running. There was some type of symbolism to that, where just run, let it run, just run away, run, flow, water. Like there was some type of symbolism to it, but it was getting on my nerves. So I was so glad when she turned the water off. So Uber Eats comes. And so she goes to the door, the mom goes to the door, and she's like, oh, thank you. And he was like, wow, you guys are just eating late. I'm thinking she's about to tell the Uber Eats guy, like, call the police, like these people in here are crazy. They didn't kidnap us, essentially. But she's like, no, thank you for the food. She's like, let me get you a tip, okay? I'll be right back. So she comes in with the food, and she's like, I'm so happy that you guys are here. We really do need to be a family, and we're gonna start with this meal and eat together, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, again, I asked myself so many times during this movie, where is it going? Because I'm like, it was so whacked out that I was just like, I couldn't even tell you where it was gonna go. I didn't see them breaking into the house and being crazy. I didn't see them like hanging with the kids behind the, I didn't know it was them. Like, it was just so much going on. So she goes, she's like, well, where's my purse? She asked the son, and he's like, I don't know, upstairs, whatever. So she goes upstairs to get her purse. She comes back downstairs. Now, wait, while she's upstairs getting her purse, the husband and the older brother are in the gym. And the husband has got like all these weights and he can't hold it up. And the brother is standing over him with the machete like, yeah, hold it up. And so finally he drops it. I'm assuming he drops it on his face or his neck. Blood splatters everywhere. So clearly he's killed. He killed himself, actually. Is that suicide? Because he killed himself, but under duress. He was forced to kill himself. But I don't know why he couldn't, like, from my, like, okay, if you can hold it up like this, you should be able to push it to one side or another, or even in front of you or back of you to like avoid it like falling on your neck or your face. So I thought that was a little fake, but okay, whatever. She comes back downstairs. They're still in the gym. She comes back downstairs with her wallet. She walks to the door as if she's going to tip the Uber Eats man. And that's where I'm going to stop, because I think the end is worth, the end is worth seeing for yourself. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there because the ending is me telling you guys the ending will not do it justice. You need to see the end for yourself. And that is a fact. If you haven't watched The Strays, please go and watch it. Watch the end and then come back and then you can listen to my review of it. Of course, please leave a comment, subscribe, like the video. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie. If you guys picked up on some of like the symbolism and the nuances that they were sneaking in, some that stuck out to you, like let me know down in the comments what you think. And like I said, most importantly, watch the end and then come back and let's talk about the end. I think I'm gonna make a separate video about just the ending alone, because the ending was wild. The ending of The Strays was wild as fuck. And the roller coaster that the movie took me on, the ending was well worth it. The ending was well worth the roller coaster that I stayed on to watch the movie. The whole hour and a half. The ending was chef's kiss. I didn't see it coming, and that's why it was so good. So, all right, guys, I've been on here long enough, 40 plus minutes. Please go ahead again, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie. And I will see you guys for part 2, where we're going to just unpack the ending, because there was a lot to unpack. So we'll be back for the next one to unpack the ending of The Strays. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.